All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready?
Today we're tackling brain health, or more specifically, how to keep our minds sharp.
Ah, the eternal quest for a sharper brain, right?
Exactly. Who wouldn't want to boost their brain power?
Absolutely.
And for this deep dive, we're turning to Health Haven, which I know you've read as well. They've got some pretty interesting insights covering everything from curiosity to brain games to exercise and even diet.
Yeah, it's a pretty comprehensive look at how to keep those mental gears turning smoothly.
So let's start with something we all love learning. Health Haven makes this analogy of our brains being like muscles, needing regular exercise to stay strong.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty accurate analogy. It all comes down to something called neuroplasticity, which is basically the brain's ability to change and adapt throughout our lives.
Okay, break that down for us. Neuroplasticity, I mean, most people don't know what that is.
Right, so you know how when you work out a muscle, it gets stronger? Same thing with the brain. When we learn new things, we're essentially creating new connections between neurons. These connections form pathways that allow information to travel more efficiently throughout the brain.
I see. So the more we learn, the more connections we create, and the stronger those pathways become.
Exactly. It's like building new roads in a city. The more roads you have, the easier it is to get around and explore different areas.
That makes a lot of sense. So then staying curious must be a key part of keeping those pathways strong.
Absolutely. Curiosity is like fuel for neuroplasticity. It drives us to seek out new information and experiences, which in turn strengthens those brain connections.
Health Haven gives a few examples of activities that can help us stay curious, like reading books, watching documentaries, picking up a new hobby.
Right, and those are all fantastic options. Anything that gets you excited to learn and explore something new can be beneficial.
So is there something that stands out to you as the most important way to cultivate curiosity? Something people might not be doing enough of already?
You know, I think it's as simple as remembering to ask questions. In our day-to-day lives, we often get so caught up in routines and tasks that we stop questioning the world around us. We take things for granted.
I know what you mean.
But taking a moment to ask why or how can reignite that spark of curiosity and open up a whole world of learning and discovery.
It's like being a kid again, right?
Right.
Always asking why. Why this? Why that?
Exactly. Kids are naturally curious, and I think that's something we should try to hold on to as adults.
Totally. So moving on to another topic that Health Haven touches on, brain games.
Mm-hmm.
Puzzles, crosswords, Sudoku, they're all the rage.
Yeah, but do they actually work? That's the big question.
Right, because some people argue that they're just a fad, no real benefits.
Well, the research suggests otherwise. While brain games might not magically increase your IQ, they can target and strengthen specific cognitive skills.
Like that.
Well, take Sudoku, for example. It's not just about numbers, it's also about spatial reasoning and problem solving.
I can see that.
And chess is another great example. It's a fantastic way to hone your planning and decision-making skills.
I actually started playing this mobile chess game recently,
Mhm.
and I've noticed that it's helped me think more strategically in other areas of my life, too.
That's a great example of how these skills can transfer to real-life situations.
But it did make me wonder, is there a downside to focusing too much on one type of brain game?
That's a good point. Balance is key. Just like with physical exercise, you wouldn't want to just do bicep curls and neglect your legs.
Right.
Same with brain games. It's important to diversify the types of games you play to ensure that you're challenging different cognitive skills. Think of it like cross-training for your brain.
Cross-training for the brain. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. All right, let's switch gears a bit and talk about the connection between physical exercise and brain health. Health Haven emphasizes this a lot.
Yeah, and for good reason. Physical exercise is incredibly beneficial for brain health. It increases blood flow to the brain, delivering essential oxygen and nutrients that our brain cells need to function properly.
So we've all heard the saying, healthy body, healthy mind. Is it really that straightforward?
More than you might think. Studies have shown that regular exercise can improve memory, focus, and even protect against cognitive decline as we age.
Wow, so it's not just about physical fitness, it's about investing in long-term brain health.
Hmm.
But what kind of exercise are we talking about here? Does it have to be high-intensity workouts, or can something like a daily walk make a difference?
While intense workouts have their benefits, the good news is that any amount of movement is better than none. Even a brisk walk can increase blood flow to the brain and boost cognitive function.
That's encouraging.
Really, the key is to find activities you enjoy and can realistically incorporate into your routine.
Makes sense. All right, last but not least, let's talk about food. Health Haven highlights some brain-boosting foods. berries, nuts, fish, leafy greens. What makes these stand out?
These foods are nutritional powerhouses for the brain. They're packed with antioxidants, which protect brain cells from damage, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are crucial for cognitive function and memory.
So you are what you eat, right?
To a certain extent, yes. But it's not about obsessing over individual superfoods. It's about creating a balanced dietary pattern that prioritizes whole, unprocessed foods.
So it's more about the overall approach to diet rather than just adding a handful of berries to your cereal in the morning.
Exactly. Think of your diet as providing the building blocks for a healthy brain.
That's a great way to put it. This has been an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much: curiosity, brain games, exercise, diet. It seems like everything's connected when it comes to brain health.
Absolutely. The key takeaway here is that taking care of your brain is an ongoing process. It's about making conscious choices every day to support our cognitive well-being.
So what's one small change our listeners can make today based on what we've discussed?
That's a good question. I'd say start by asking yourself, what am I curious about?
Love it.
And from there, explore that curiosity. Read a book, watch a documentary, or try a new brain game. Maybe go for a walk and reflect on what you've learned.
Great advice. So to wrap things up, keep learning, keep moving, keep your brain happy.
And keep those questions coming.
Until next time.
See you then.